Dear shareholders, good morning. This is Neelabja Chakrabarty, Company Secretary. I am very pleased to welcome you to the 58th Annual General Meeting of Tata Consumer Products Limited, held through video conference or other audio-visual means. I would like to take you through certain points regarding the participation at this meeting. The facility of joining the AGM through video conference or other audio-visual means is being made available for members on first-come, first-served basis. All members who have joined this meeting are by default placed on mute mode by the host to avoid any disturbance arising from the background noise and ensure smooth and seamless conduct of the meeting. Once the question and answer session starts, the chairman will announce the name of the shareholders who have registered as speaker shareholder one by one. The speaker shareholder will thereafter be unmuted by the host. To start speaking, the shareholder is requested to click the video on button. If the shareholder is not able to join through video for any reason, the shareholder can speak through the audio mode. While speaking, we would request the speaker to use the earphones so that he is clearly audible. Minimize any noise in the background. Ensure that Wi-Fi is not connected to any other device. No other background applications are running, and there is proper lighting to have a good video and audio experience. If there is a connectivity problem at the speaker shareholder's end, we would ask the next speaker to join. Once the connectivity improves, the speaker shareholder will be called once again, once the other shareholders who have registered complete their turn. We would like to request the shareholders to limit their speech to 3 minutes. During the AGM, if a member faces any technical issues, he may contact the helpline number mentioned in the notice of the AGM. Thank you. Over to you, Chairman, sir.
Thank you, Neelabja. Good morning, all shareholders. I would like to welcome you all to the 58th Annual General Meeting of the Tata Consumer Products Limited. As the requisite quorum is present, I now call the meeting to order. All directors have joined this meeting through the video conference or other audio-visual means. Now I would like to introduce all of them. As introduced, the camera will focus on them, and I request the directors to greet the shareholders. Mr. Santana Krishnan. Sir, you are on mute. Okay, Ms. Shika Sharma.
I'm chairperson of the, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm Shikha Sharma, independent director and chairperson of the Nomination and Remuneration Committee of Tata Consumer Products. I'm joining the AGM through video conferencing from Mumbai.
Mr. Bharat Puri.
Good morning, shareholders. I am Bharat Puri, Independent Director and Chairman of the Risk Management Committee of Tata Consumer Products. I am joining this annual general meeting through video conference from Mumbai.
Mr. Siraj Chaudhary. Mr. Siraj Chaudhary. Mr. Balaji.
Morning, shareholders. This is Balaji, Non-Executive Director of Tata Consumer Products Limited. I'm joining this AGM from my residence in Mumbai.
We'll try and see. Mr. Santana Krishnan, are you there?
Yes, sir. Are you able to hear me, sir?
Yeah.
I'm here. Can I do it, sir? I'm Santana Krishnan, Chairman of the Audit Committee and Stakeholders Committee. Let me welcome all the shareholders. I'm joining this video conference through video conference from my office in Chennai. Thank you.
Mr. Siraj Chaudhary.
Hi, good morning. I'm Siraj Chaudhary, an independent director on the board of Tata Consumer Products Limited. I'm joining this meeting from my home in Gurgaon, and I also chair uh, the CSR committee of the board.
Thank you. With me present here are the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Sunil D'Souza, Executive Director and Group CFO, Mr. L.K. Krishna Kumar, and the Company Secretary, Mr. Nilabja Chakrabarti. The Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Ajit Krishna Kumar, is also present in this place. The statutory auditors, Mr. Sanjeev Pilgaonkar from Deloitte and Secretarial Auditor, Dr. Asim Kumar Chattopadhyay, have also joined this meeting from their respective locations. I thank all the members who have joined this meeting today, and I hope all of you are safe and in good health. Due to the COVID-19 concerns, lockdown, and social distancing norms, we are for the second time holding this AGM through video conference. This is in compliance with the directions of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and SEBI listing regulations. The live streaming of this meeting is also being webcast on NSDL's website. The company has taken the requisite steps to enable members to participate and vote on the items being considered at this AGM. The company has received 15 letters along with board resolutions from the corporate shareholders appointing and authorizing representatives under Section 113 of the Companies Act 2013 in respect of 33 crore 17 lakh 21,614 equity shares, representing 36% of the paid-up equity share capital. Since there is no physical attendance of members, the requirement of appointing proxies is not applicable. The registers, as required under the Companies Act 2013, and the documents that are required to be kept open in terms of the resolutions provided in the AGM notice are open for inspection. Members who have not voted earlier through remote e-voting can cast their vote in the course of the meeting through e-voting facility. The notice convening the meeting is already circulated to all members. With your permission, I take the notice as read. Dear shareholders, I would like to make some remarks now. The past 18 months have been dramatic in a way we have not experienced before. On one hand, we have collectively faced overwhelming challenges and hardships. At the same time, we have experienced several advancements that we could not have imagined, from scientific breakthroughs to new ways of learning, living, and working. The spread of the pandemic brought the economic activity globally to a near standstill in the first half of last year. The global growth, GDP, plunged 3.3% year-on-year in 2020, the deepest global recession since the Great Depression. India's GDP is also significantly affected, and it is estimated to have contracted by 7.3%. Yet, despite the dramatic impact, a better than expected post-lockdown recovery in the second half of last year, we saw growth in non-discretionary spends and good performance by the consumer businesses overall. At the Tata Group, 4 years ago, we embarked on a major transformation initiative and adopted the One Tata approach expressed through what we called as the 3S strategy, simplifying our portfolio and reducing complexity, synergizing our operations and portfolio to become a force multiplier, and scaling our businesses through growth and consolidation. At Tata Consumer Products, we have made significant progress in all these dimensions. The company has sharpened its focus on its key geographies and simplified its business model by exiting several non-core markets and businesses. Over these years, it has exited from Sri Lanka and Russia. This year too, the company exited the non-core out-of-home food service business in the US and Australia, and Tata Consumer Products in the USA divested its stake in Empirical Group LLC and Southern Tea LLC. These simplification initiatives are enabling the company and giving the management ample time to focus on what is core to the business. As a group, as you are aware, we took a call to consolidate our foods and beverage businesses under the erstwhile Tata Global Beverages Company, now called as the Tata Consumer Products Limited. The integration of the business has been largely achieved, and we have started to see significant synergy benefits, including sales and distribution, with a 30% increase in direct coverage of outlets and integration of food and beverage CFA network, leading to several efficiencies. This year, your company's India business grew 29% with robust volume growth in both beverages and food businesses. We have gained market share in both of these categories, tea and salt. The ambition of the company clearly is to become a leading player in its key segments in the FMCG area. Towards this end, we have strengthened our product portfolio through new product launches as well as very targeted acquisitions. During the year, TCPL acquired Kottaram Agro Foods, which has substantially been renamed Tata Consumer Soulful. It is now our fully owned subsidiary. Its brand Tata Soulful operates in the health and wellness focused food segment with a portfolio of millet based products for kids as well as adults. This acquisition opens up a significant new area in the market for us in the fast growing breakfast, snacking and mini meal segment, and enables entry into a newer consumption occasions. Further, the company acquired Pepsi's stake in Nourishco Beverages Limited, enabling us to widen our beverage portfolio. The company expanded its Tata Sampann brand portfolio into the health and wellness space with new product developments in Nutrimixes. Tata Starbucks was impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. While the impact was higher in the initial months, the business largely recovered post-COVID levels by the end of the financial year. Despite the pandemic, it added 39 new stores, entered 7 new cities, and launched new store formats. The company now has a portfolio which covers tea, coffee, water, salt, pulses, spices, ready-to-cook offerings, breakfast cereals, snacks, and mini meals. To achieve the next level of growth, by leveraging this expanded product portfolio, the company is now implementing and integrating its distribution network and supply chain to drive efficiency and, more importantly, agility. Undertaking an end-to-end digitization of its channel partners and field force is another key initiative. And thirdly, company is focusing in bolstering its e-commerce capabilities, and a few products have been already launched in its D2C model. I am also happy to say the 8 o'clock coffee will be launched in the D2C model next week. And finally, the company is using data analytics for strategic planning. We are working to make our products available everywhere and all the time. We have a strong foundation in place for Tata Consumer Products, and we are confident to build on this momentum to unlock the potential of the company and the opportunities in the market to become a formidable player in the industry. I will now cover the performance of the company briefly. The consolidated revenues for the year FY21 was at rupees 11,602 crores, a growth of 20% driven by strong volumes. Consolidated EBITDA also grew by 20% to rupees 1,569 crores. Consolidated PAT grew by 102% to reach 930 crores. On a standalone basis, revenues grew by 25.7% to reach 7,154 crores. EBITDA grew by 14% to reach rupees 919 crores, and PAT grew by 18% to 620 crores. During the year, the company faced unprecedented challenges due to the pandemic, ranging from logical disruptions to raw material inflation in our business, as well as in the social and health impact of lives. The safety of our people has been a key priority for us, and we launched various health and wellness initiatives to our employees at the company level and also at the Tata Group level. Support has also been extended to our business partners in India in sales and manufacturing. Across markets, community initiatives were undertaken to help the essential workers and, most importantly, the vulnerable sections of the population. I would like to thank all our employees, especially those in the frontline roles, who have worked to grow the business and also to provide support for the safety of our people and the community at large. I also want to thank all the directors who have been extremely supportive for the company and to me. And most importantly, I want to express my heartfelt thanks to you, our shareholders, for your continued faith and support in Tata Consumer Products Limited, and would urge you and your members of the family to get vaccinated at the earliest available opportunity and stay safe and be healthy. Now, before I proceed to take the questions from the shareholders, I would like to request the company managing director, Mr. Sunil D'Souza, to make a brief presentation to all of you.
Thank you, Chairman. Next slide, please. Next slide. So, dear shareholders, I'll take you through a broad snapshot about the company, performance highlights, progress against our strategic initiatives, business performance in India and international, and some awards and recognition. Next slide, please. Next slide. So, shareholders, this is your company snapshot today. It's an integrated food and beverage company with the rich heritage of Tata, aspiring for a larger share, as the chairman mentioned, of the FMCG world. We're the number 2 branded tea player globally, 11,600 crores in revenue, and current market cap as of end of May of 61,000 crores. Reach to almost 200 million households in India and distribution to about 2.4 million retail outlets. Among the top 10 F&B companies with about 3,500 employees worldwide. We've got a strong stable of brands. Tata Salt, which is the largest salt brand in India. Tata Tea, the second largest tea brand. Tetley, the 4th largest tea brand in the UK and the largest tea brand in Canada. 8 O'Clock, the 4th largest roast and ground coffee brand in the US. Tata Sampann, which we are building out to be the leading national brand in pulses in India. And Himalayan, which is the number 1 mineral water brand in India. Next slide, please. In terms of performance, next slide. Key highlights, the chairman did mention, but just to recap, consolidated revenue up 20, group profit up 102. We added 2,000 crores to our top line this year. India business grew 29% with robust volume growth, 12% in beverages, 11% in foods. International business underlying growth of 5%. A consolidated EBITDA for the year was up 20, and this is despite facing margin pressure in India beverages due to unprecedented inflation in raw tea prices. We had a strong cash flow, free cash flow conversion. FCF to EBITDA was now 101% versus 81% last year. The proposed dividend is up 50% year on year, and strong focus on working capital. DSOs down to 42 days versus 59 of last year. Next slide. We gained share through the year, as the chairman mentioned. Quarter to quarter, March, tea was up 190 basis points and salt was up 160. Our integration in the India business is now complete. We've done acquisitions of Nourishco and Soulful. At the same time, we've rationalized our international business, exiting Australia coffee and food service in the US. Next slide, please. Key business in a snapshot. Volume and revenue growth across businesses. India beverages, 12% volume, 36 revenue. Foods, 11% volume, 18 revenue. US coffee, 7% volume and 9% constant currency revenue. International tea, 1% volume, 3% revenue. International food service, which we've completely divested now, was impacted by COVID, negative 31% on volume. Tata Coffee, 9% volume and 14% revenue, and all in consolidated 18% constant currency revenue growth, reported 20%. Next slide. 20% growth in revenue to 11,600 crores, EBITDA up 20, PBT up 24, group net profit up 102. We maintained margins on EBITDA despite all the pressures on the top line as well as margin pressure at 13.5%. Group net profit at 8%, up 320 basis points, and EPS up 86% versus last year. Net cash of 2,421 crores on our books right now. Next slide. We've been consistently delivering growth in dividend payout, and the proposed dividend this year at 4.05 is a 50% increase year on year. And the market on the other side recognizes what we are trying to achieve from a Tata Group FMCG perspective. And as of 31st of May, our share price was 664, market cap of 61,200 crores, a CAGR of 22.5 and 41.3 over the last 10 and 5 years respectively. Next slide, please. Now, if I walk you through our strategic priorities and what we are planning, next slide. We've laid down 6 strong pillars which we are going to focus our execution against: strengthening and accelerating our core, driving digital and innovation, focus on cost and unlocking synergies, creating a future-ready organization, exploring new opportunities, both organic as well as inorganic, and staying close to the Tata ethos, embedding sustainability in everything that we do. Next slide. In terms of strengthening and accelerating core, the biggest focus was S&D. We have made a statement saying we will do 2x direct outlets in 12 months and 2x numeric in 36 months. And we've started delivering against that. Our numeric is up by 15%. We started the integration sometime in September. September to March, we are up by about 15%. Driven by direct coverage being up 30%, and we are on track for 1 million outlets by September 2021. And now we are moving our focus from, or increasing our focus from urban, semi-urban to rural. We've added 3 times the number of feet on street in rural, and we've already added 2,000 rural distributors. We've segregated planning and execution in the sales team. So we've created shopper marketing, which is the planning arm, and we've created 4 clear pillars: e-commerce, modern trade, institutional, and GT, to drive execution. E-commerce contribution has doubled over the year, more than doubled. Modern trade has grown 31%, and e-commerce has grown 130%. And we've gained share, as I mentioned, both on tea and salt. Next slide, please. Powering our brands is the other big focus. We've staged restages for most of our brands. Shown here is Kanandevan, which is a very strong brand down south. But we're also powering up the premium end of our portfolio with Tata Tea Gold. Same thing in Tata Salt. While we are powering the base brand, we are also focusing on the premium end of salt. We've focused on the battleground states in the north with Tata Tea Agni, where we are now going to power it up with A&P. Also, we're going to add fuel to Tata Sampann, which is a big growth driver for the future. Next slide. Driving premiumization. Tea, we've launched various products to uplift our premium portfolio. Tetley with vitamin C, Tulsi Green, Tata Tea Gold Care, which is adding one more extra leg to the Tata Gold portfolio. Salt, apart from the base, we are focused on the value-added salts. Value-added salts grew by 75% last quarter. And as the chairman mentioned, we've started our D2C journey. We've launched a micro lots from Tata Coffee with Tata Tea Sonnets by Tata Tea Coffee, and a range of curated teas under the Tata 1868 brand name. Apart from that, next week, you're going to see 8 o'clock being launched in India, again on a D2C model. Next slide. Most importantly, we have delivered volume growth acceleration across our India businesses. And I'm talking volume, not value, because value also includes inflation and pricing. Volume is the base on which we should be growing. So beverages, we've changed that trajectory 1.5 times. We grew close to 12% last year. And in foods, we've tripled the trajectory, growing by close to 11.5% versus a CAGR of 3.5% in the past 3 years. Next slide. We've started our digital journey. We've laid the base plumbing. We've got a long way to go. We've started collecting data. Now we've got to get into analytics and more detailed execution pieces. We've got the DMS in place, SFA. We've come out with a new ERP system of S4HANA and a new business planning tool. We've onboarded a chief digital officer who's now will lay out the strategy and the structure for the organization. We hope to deliver improved sales outcomes, lower cost to serve, lower working capital, improved service levels, and lower supply chain costs. Next slide. Innovation, big focus. Some of the products shown here, whether we launched various products under the Tata Sampann brand, or I talked about the products that we launched in tea. Even in the international space, we have taken the lead in moving beyond black tea on innovation, and innovation also relaunching Fruski as a new street drinks portfolio in our Narishko business. Next slide. When we did the integration, we had committed synergies of 100 to 150 crores in 18 to 24 months. We have put together a dedicated team to, first of all, analyze and realize synergies, and they've adopted a first principle approach, also benchmarking to best-in-class FMCG companies. We've optimized sales and distribution layers. We've rejigged our entire credit and margins with all our channel partners. We've roughly halved the number of C&FAs and therefore realized synergies of scale in logistics. And we're now looking at common procurement in marketing and packaging across. We remain well on track to meet, if not exceed, both quantum as well as timing of the synergies that we've committed. Next slide. You heard from the chairman about the inorganic opportunities that we've done. We do believe that Narishko gives us significant scope for growth, both by geographic as well as portfolio expansion. And Soulful fits in very well, addressing a new target group, consumption occasions of breakfast, snacking, and mini meals. Next slide. We are focused on building a future-ready organization. We have now an integrated organization structure with very targeted capability building. We've harmonized all systems and processes, and we've defined vision, mission, values to build a purpose-led organization. Some of the capabilities that we built, a simplified, very strategic R&D function, clearly segregated into scientific regulatory affairs, new product development, and strategic projects. Shopper marketing I talked about to build planning around our execution. We've injected talent into e-commerce, and you've seen the results on e-commerce. We've got a dedicated integration management office so that as we embark on M&A, we've got a plug-and-play ready team. We've injected talent in terms of a CDO and for revenue management, and now we will define the path that we want to take on these functions, and we've got dedicated investor relations. Next slide. We remain continuously focused on sustainability. In terms of sourcing, 100% of international is sourced sustainably and 60% in India. Water management, hugely focused around our plants and facilities. Climate change, while we've grown volume and value, we've reduced our GHG emissions by 26% and improved renewable energy by 14%. We are now zero waste to landfill at all beverage factories, work in process on the foods business. 71% of our salt packaging is recyclable, and we are on 100% extended producer responsibility in India. And we're focused on community development in our plants, in and around our plants, as well as plantations, focused on sustainable livelihoods and affordable healthcare. Next slide. Quick snapshot on business performance of all our different businesses. Next slide. India business, revenue up 32, volume up 12. Coffee, we've restaged in December. Therefore, the acceleration only started after that. But despite that, full year volume growth of 19 and value of 100. We've gained share. EBIT margin was a bit soft, but that was primarily on account of unprecedented inflation in tea prices. We do hope to see tea prices softening as we go through the year now, restoring EBIT margins back to the India business. and huge focus on working capital, down to 48 days from the earlier 78 days that we had. Next slide. India Foods, overall revenue up 18%, salt revenue up 17 with 11% volume growth in salt, continued focus on premiumization. Tata Sampann grew 26%, but I think we've still got a long runway to go. Working capital negative in India Foods, and EBIT for the segment up 45 with margin expansion. Next slide. Nourishco was severely impacted by COVID, being out of home, but despite that, they grew revenue by 4%. Tata Water Plus is a big winner, growing by 60% despite all the problems that we had with COVID. And in Himalayan, we rejigged our go-to-market, we brought it in-house, and it is starting to yield results. We've added 76% in terms of retail footprint, and we were close to break even in December quarter, and we do hope to deliver good results on this brand as we go forward. Next slide. Tata Coffee, revenue up 14, EBIT up 69. Extraction business grew 12. Plantations also did well. Value growth in tea driven by higher realization, and coffee plantations revenue grew on the back of higher crop. Next slide. Starbucks, severely impacted by COVID, and therefore revenue was down 33%. But despite that, the business was EBITDA positive for the year. If you see the graph on the left-hand bottom, you will see sequential recovery till February. But the second wave of COVID has impacted them again. But despite that, we remain focused on the longer term. 39 new stores, 7 new cities, new formats added through the year, and the team achieved significant savings through cost optimization. Next slide. In international, next slide. UK revenue up by 2%. Strong EBIT growth driven by strong control on overheads and lower trade promotions, coupled with stable commodity cost. We remain focused on growing beyond black tea, and we started to see early results. Tetley's share grew in the segments of decaf, fruit and herbals, and green tea during the year. And online revenue, in line with our focus, delivered good results. Most importantly, we've also launched Good Earth as a brand to play beyond base black tea. Next slide. The US again had a strong year with revenue growth of 9%, volume growth of 7%, with K-Cup growth, which is better profitability outpacing coffee bags. Good innovation momentum with K-Cups and barista blends. Tea had a revenue growth of 16%. And again, the beyond black tea is starting to show results with Good Earth and Tea Pigs growing faster than Tetley. Again, good results on e-commerce, and as the chairman mentioned, we exited from our non-core food service business, the Empirical JV, which allows the team to now focus on branded tea and coffee. Next slide. Canada, our strongest market and best performing historically, again had a phenomenal year. Robust revenue growth of 15%. And now Tetley is not only the number one brand in regular, but also specialty teas, outgrowing the category through the year. We are now the volume leaders in specialty tea, besides being market leaders in black tea. Next slide. And during the year, we won several awards and recognitions. India Foods received several awards for their digital marketing. India Beverages, Tata Tea Premium won Disruptive Brand of the Year award. TCPL Greenford UK office won an award for recycling, a recognition of our efforts towards UK's total net zero target. Our Caledon and indoor packaging plants won silver in the national awards for manufacturing competitiveness. We won the Masters of Risk Award in the FMCG category in India, and Tetley Canada for the 7th time won the Most Trusted Brand 2021. That brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunil. Now I request the Company Secretary to explain the process of e-voting.
Thank you, Chairman, sir. The Companies Act 2013 and SEBI listing regulations provide for electronic voting. Accordingly, the company has provided its members the facility to cast their vote through remote electronic voting system administered by NSDL. The facility for voting at the meeting is also provided for the members attending this meeting who have not yet voted. Members may please go to the voting page of NSDL e-voting website and cast their vote while at the same time watch the proceedings of the meeting. Dr. Asim Kumar Chattopadhyay, practicing company secretary, has been appointed as scrutinizer to scrutinize the votes cast at the meeting and through remote e-voting. Since the AGM is being held through video conference or other audiovisual means, and the resolutions mentioned in the notice conveying this AGM have already been put to vote through remote e-voting, there will be no proposing and seconding of the resolutions. Thank you.
Thank you, Nilabja. Now I invite all the shareholders who have registered to speak at this meeting to make their remarks. There are a large number of people who have registered, so I request all of you to be very, very brief so that we can have opportunity for all the speakers. Let me start with Ms. Paridhi Agarwal. Ma'am, can you unmute yourself?
Good morning, Chairman, sir, and the members of the board. I'm Paridhi Agarwal, a proud shareholder of Tata Consumer Products Limited and a member of Millennium Mams, Kolkata. Sir, Millennium Mams has a long association with the erstwhile Tata Global Beverages, and traditionally, our company is a beverage company. And so we would like to understand how can we leverage growth in this segment. I have two questions with regard to this. So my first question is about the tea prices. There has been a substantial increase in the tea prices over the last 1 year. And sir, how do you see this trend moving forward from here? And how does the company plan to handle this? My second question is about 8 o'clock, though you've already touched on the topic. So I wanted to know, since it is such an integral part of the group where the marketing is done by TCPL, and the production is done by Tata Coffee, please could you elaborate on this? And what is the outlook for 8 o'clock in the next 5 years? Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Aarti Tekriwal.
Good morning, respected Chairman, sir, and the Board of Directors. Besides being a proud shareholder, I also represent Millennium Mams Indonesia. So my question is that how much longer till TCPL becomes the #1 tea brand in India? And the other is after Desh Ki Chai and Desh Ka Namak, are we all set to become Desh Ki Coffee? Thank you, sir.
Dr. Arun Kumar.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah.
Hello. Good morning. Thanks to Neelabja and Trevor for making the CVC possible today. So my questions, India with 65 crore young population will have different tastes and preferences. What is TCPL's strategy for the shift? In 150 years now, the infra is being developed around people, not roads. What are the opportunities for TCPL? Plus, we need innovations in warehousing and logistics. What are TCPL's plans? Opportunities for TCPL in emerging economies, increase of jobs to reduce poverty and social stability. With abundance of choices in FMCG, with risk of shifting to competitors, what is TCPL's USP? Any plans of direct or online selling due to the pandemic? So there are a lot of mushrooming of chai points. Will TCPL open the premium chai points because there is a lot of demand in that area? Now many people see jobs as temporary. Is there a challenge in our tea gardens? Is there a challenge? Who will come to work today? How does TCPL deal with it? After COVID, new skills are required for the next decade to operate with ease, precision, and finish. What a TCPL plan. So lastly, with Corona, there is a question mark who will wake up tomorrow. I would like to remind the history and origins of tea industry and TCPL. The Singo tribe of undivided Assam grew tea first, which was unknown to the world. And Maniram Diwan in 1820s established first commercial tea garden in Assam. Tea was declared a national drink in 2012, coinciding with the 212th birth anniversary of Maniram Dewan. And Major Robert Bruce introduced Indian tea to the world. With fair and just practices with tribes in the tea gardens, he opened doors of Assam tea to the world, exactly the DNA of Tatas he followed. And the first tea research laboratory was established in 1911, now called the Tokla Tea Research Institute. Now I'd like to talk about the proud history of Tata Group. J.N. Tata, world's #1 philanthropist, saw tomorrow for India as a true nationalist focused to uplift India. J.R.D. Tata was the most admired businessman, a real nationalist and a treasure for India, but the government never consulted him. Ratan Tata sunsetted or sold underperforming businesses and expanded the Tata Group around the globe. With the above legacy, TCPL used innovation abilities with their capabilities, met rapidly changing demands with changing needs, worked for wider public reach for impact for public reach. In conclusion, sir, I wish TCPL all the best to create shared value in society by simplifying, synergizing, and scaling up. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Patel.
Chairman, sir.
Yeah.
Patel has not yet joined the meeting. May I
Mr.
request you to move on to
Mr.
the next
Gautam
speaker?
Nandi. Mr. Gautam Nandi. Ms. Carmel Bina Pinto.
Good morning, respected Chairman, sir, members of the board, and Mr. Sunil D'Souza. So my first question, the India food business grew by 18%. As one of the trends of changing consumer behavior is in-home consumption and healthy food options. And while the TCPL sales network is focused more on feet on the ground, what are the strategies around increasing e-commerce options, and what percentage growth do you anticipate next year, assuming that there are no more lockdowns? Secondly, what are the innovations and strategies around healthier packaged food? My second question is, sir, please could you give us a sense of the long-term profitability plans for Starbucks? While TCPL has made a consolidated investment of 386 crores, there is a loss of 66 crores as shown in the details of joint ventures. When do you see these Starbucks cafes adding positively to the bottom line? Do you have a specific India strategy in terms of Starbucks offerings apart from expansions of the stores? Sir, apart from being a proud shareholder, I'm also a member of the Millennium Mams organization. Thank you.
Thank you. Manoj Kumar Gupta.
Sir, good morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Hello, respected Chairman, Board of Directors, fellow shareholders. My name is Manoj Gupta. I am equity shareholder of Tata Consumer Products Limited. Sir, first of all, I thanks to company secretary and his team who has helped us to join this meeting through video. And I thanks to you and your team, Board of Directors and our MD for declaring a dividend of more than 400%. Sir, we were not expected. Some companies had skipped the dividend on the way of COVID, but Tata Group has never skipped the dividend. They paid the dividend because you want to pay the dividend to the shareholders. It's a good sign. And sir, thanks for new acquire. Thanks to you and your team for acquire the new company. Sir, there is my few suggestions. Try to launch some immunity booster or Kada mixed products like this Girnar. In COVID, during the first wave of COVID or the second wave of COVID, people has used tea with ginger, long, extra. So you should also try to launch some tea with milk like Girnar to immunity booster products. And so now doctors are prescribing because हमने आपका नमक खाया है, टाटा का नमक आज भी ब्रांड नमक है. People still do not like to buy the Ashirwad namak or Annapurna namak of livers. People like to buy the Tata's namak. And you have launched three variants: normal, light, and exclusive salt. So you can also launch some 1 gram packet of salt for patients like diabetes, kidney, and heart patients. Because when patient discharge from the hospital, doctors prescribe them that only you can use 1 gram namak, 1 gram salt every day. And they buy their packets from the Apollo and other medical shops. That's very costly. You can also consider to launch some such type of packets in the salt brand for the patients of 1 gram that they can use every day in their food. And sir, you can tie up with IRCTC and airports for the blending machines of tea and coffee. IRCTC is going 58 top stations in the privatization. Airports has already privatized, so you can install your blending machines for the passengers that they can get some tea and coffee from under the brand of Tata's at the destination. And sir, thanks for the company to get some awards. And sir, what's the status of Lal Ghoda and Kala Ghoda in North India? You have acquired that brand from Dhansiri. And what's their agreement with the Dhansiri? They have launched the new brand of Chote Lal in eastern part. Is there any agreement that company will not launch any brand for next 5 years? I guess quality, when quality has sold their ice cream brand to Liver, they have banned that they could not launch any brand ice cream in next 10 years. So there was any agreement that Dhansiri could not launch any brand because they have sold their brand to Tata consumers. And CSR, I don't want to say anything on the CSR because yesterday I was reading a news that Jamshedji Tata was the biggest donor of the world with the contribution of more than $102 billion to the world as a donation. And thanks for new packaging system in state-wise logo and packets. That should be continue from in Bengal logo, in Uttar Pradesh logo. Sorry, your spices brand Sampan, there is a competition from Everest, MDH, ITC has just acquired 2,200 crore rupees Sunrise brand. So how you will face competition in the spices? Your Sampan brands. And any plan to launch some ready-to-eat products under the brand of Sampan, like as a dal makhani, paneer, sabji, extra. So you can also launch that paying guests and they can use with the warm water and they can use your products. And sir, why are you not want
Mr.
to take
Manoj Gupta,
acquiring?
I would
Just I will
like you,
take one
I would
minute.
really like you to finish.
Sir, just I will take 1 minute. Just I will take one. Sir, have you any plan to acquire? Because there is a combination of tea and coffee with biscuits. Why are you not acquiring any biscuit and cookies uh, company in the country? And sir, I please convey our best wishes to our real architect, Mr. R.K. Krishna Kumar, and we can't forget Mr. Ratan and Tata. Convey our best wishes to both of them. And sir, may I again request you to please spare some time to visit Calcutta. We peoples of this part are waiting for you that you will come to Calcutta when the situation improves. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Sarbanand Gatani.
घटाने का सुनिए क्या बोल
Mr. Gatani. Hello, Mr. Gatani. Okay. Can we go to Tamal Kumar Majumdar?
Respected Chandra Sahab, Mr. D. Suja and other directors of the company, myself, Tamil Kumar Majumdar, and equity shareholder from Calcutta. And sir, thank you, Chandra sir, and Mr. D'Souza for sharing your thoughts with us. My special thanks to beloved Company Secretary Nilamjo Chakraborty and his team consists of ever-smiling Shiv Shankar Rai and others for maintaining cordial relation with shareholders. Both Mr. Chakraborty and Rai are always available over phone and mail. Thank you, Chandra sir, for giving us a vibrant company secretarial team. Sir, I have gone through the entire accounts, and I have some queries relating to audited accounts and other matters, and seek your indulgence as usual. Despite COVID-19 scenario looming large on us, the company declared excellent results during financial year 21, increasing its revenue and profit in comparison to financial year 20. Sir, my first question is relating to Starbucks. The madam also asked the question. During the year, we invested another 97.5 crores, making the investment to 386.30 crores in Starbucks. And sir, Tata Coffee also started coffee roasting plant especially for Starbucks during the year, and sold coffee worth of 14.51 crores to them during the year, during financial year 21. And sir, financial year 21 is not at all a good year for Starbucks. Is it okay, sir? Not a good year for Starbucks. How they are doing during the current year, and how their drive-through outlets and home delivery business doing. When do you expect our investment in it will get appropriate return, and Tata Coffee will also get better offtake from their coffee roasting plant? Please share your thoughts in this respect and share with us its expansion plan. Sir, transfer of salt brands, spices, etc. from Tata Chemicals to Tata Consumer Products was really a masterstroke under your leadership. Using vast dealership network, it started doing well. Mr. D'Souza also mentioned that salt increased by 17%. 17%. I want to know our current market share of Tata Salt. What is the current market share of Tata Salt? And several big FMCG companies with deep pockets entered into packaged salt business, like ITC, Hindustan Lever, and others. How are we coping with this such competition? How are we coping with such competition? Sir, our annual report mentioned the following. We are exploring opportunities to expand our Indian product in the international market, where we have a presence to cater ethnic goods and need of Indian diaspora. Sir, this is really an innovative state explored by our company. What is its present status? What is its present status? Do we expect it a money spinner in the long run? Please share your thoughts, sir, in this regard. Sir, it is also noted that our company purchased entire PepsiCo stake in Nourishco for 13 crore only, and making it a 100% subsidiary of the company, with total investment of 119.50 crores. During financial year 21, the said subsidiary booked a profit of 18 crores after considering 13.10 crores as deferred tax against a turnover of 188 crores. It has a consolidated accumulated loss of 177 crores. It has an accumulated loss of 177 crores after adjustment of these 18 crores as on 31st March. When do you believe that it will be able to wipe out its accumulated losses? When its products will be launched pan-India, and any new product in the pipeline? Sir, last year Mr. D'Souza shared with us, talked about digital transformation in his interview in the annual report, and also disclosed that 15% of Indian revenue contributed by modern trade and e-commerce. In the meantime, our group took over digital platform Big Basket, and in addition to that, we have our own Tata Clicks. In addition to our group, it is developing a super app. So what is the contribution of modern trade and e-commerce in our turnover during the current year? And when we may expect introduction of super app? And what is your expectation from the digital market and e-commerce plan as regards our company is concerned? And in his opening speech, Mr. D'Souza also remained bullish in this regard. He said the company appointed digital officer in this regard. I want to know your view in this regard, sir. And sir, how are we dealing with competition from Hindustan Unilever and regional plants as regards our tea is concerned? Whether the management will continue buying regional brands like Lal Ghoda, Kala Ghoda to penetrate more in regions, whether they will continue this practice. And sir, how our mineral business is doing?
Which business?
During the current year. Mineral business is doing. Mineral water, sorry. Mineral water business is during the year, during financial year, our market share in packaged water was less than 1%, despite being in the market for 14 years. And Mr. D'Souza in his opening speech said that the Himalayan will break it during December. And what is our current market share in this regard? And within 5 years, what is our expectation as regards market share is concerned? And sir, exceptional items in note 20 or 28 on standalone basis stated 61.10 crores as business restructuring and reorganization cost. Would you please give some details in this regard? 61 crores as business restructuring cost. And sir, exceptional items on consolidated basis booked 84.30 crores as gain on conversion of JV into a subsidiary. Whether it relates to Narishco beverages, which became a subsidiary from a joint venture company. Sir, we have a shareholding of 41.03% with investment of 71 crores in Amalgamated Plantations Limited. And the said company is not doing well during the last couple of years. What is your thinking in this respect, sir? Is there any possibility of increasing our stake to more than 50% in this unit in the near future? Sir, our company extended a letter of comfort amounting to 150 crores. Whether it relates to amalgamated plantations. And sir, would you please share details in respect of capital work in progress of 224 crores? Company is showing they have a capital work in progress of 224 crores. Would you give some details in this regard? And sir, Tata Consumer Products, Tata Consumer Soulful Private Limited on 17/2/2021 is doing, how the unit is doing during the current year. And what is the criteria for payment of contingent consideration of 76 crores? Because the note mentioned there will be a contingent consideration of 76 crores to be paid, subject to certain conditions. What are the conditions? And whether we paid any amount in this regard? Sir, and whether you are considering of taking over such companies in the near future. Sir, our listed subsidiary Tata Coffee is doing well during financial year 21 and declared 150% dividend against EPS of 5.40 per equity share of ₹1 each. Its subsidiary Tata Coffee Vietnam Limited also break even during financial year 21 but booked a small profit. But marketing of products of Tata Coffee by our company during financial year 21 was much less than 50 crores. Being a parent of such size, our company marketed some products of the Tata Coffee whose amount was less than 50 crores. 50 crores. And would you please share with us your thinking in this respect? What is your thinking in increasing the market share of Tata Coffee and Vietnam business? What is your thinking? Sir, Thank you all for patient hearing. Thank you all.
Thank you, Tamal. I need to write a separate notebook to give you answers. Thank you. Mr. Pranab Ray. Later. Hello, Pranabda.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Good
I am
morning.
now, why I am attending this meeting AGM. I want to see your smiling face all the time, irrespective of any odd situation will come to our Tata Group. We don't care, but we want to see your smiling face, as usual. Sir, very good morning to you and MD sir and all the board of directors. First thing, I am very much proud and honored that you have called me Pranab Da. And still, my last breath of my life, I will never forget this type of respect in my ex-organization or ex-group, you can say. First thing, I am very much grateful also Nilabja Chakravarti and his secretarial team members, Chief Shankar of Kolkata, for giving the annual reports, arrangement of VC, and I hope they are doing the rendered service 24 into 7 in this COVID situation. Hats off to them. I don't know how we are managing, sir, because of this situation. You are extending help to the people of giving oxygen, people of giving medicines, and you are following the path of our late founder, Jamshedji Tata. Last 100 years, he made 102 billions dollars to the charity for the building of the nation as well as the worldwide. Hats off to you. And recently, you have given the 15 crores to the Chief Minister Relief Fund of Assam. And for that, the people are very much grateful as a Tata whole. Now I'm coming the points there. Online business to be developed and more adoption in this COVID situation. Like actually few online companies are there, Zomato, Swiggy, Gophers, and Amazon, all these concerns, we can cover up the more areas in India very easily and selling our product also. Kindly think about this. And our supply chain also that will fully operate. Another point is contingent liability and price structure. You know, our Tata consumer products, we are selling very much food items. And these food items, there is a chance of expiry. If expiry date are over, then we have to throw to the garbage or dustbin. And our total capital is wastage for this. My earnestly appeal to you, sir, kindly consider the price structure and change either quarterly or half yearly or annually and think the market scenario. More and more outlet coverage to be increased at present. I think our Tata Consumer Products is well positioned for excellent growth and good player in the FMCG industry in India as well as abroad. But we want more development in near future. Sir, confidential survey is most important nowadays because this COVID situation, we have to survey in the market so regular customers to get their feedback directly, which will help in increasing the sales and marketing of our products and which area to be developed more and more near future. Sir, more demand for immunity boosters, various products, and it is going to stay for some years, even though our pandemic situation will over. For an example, nutrition health drink. Sir, launching of new products, anything is coming years or any expansion program in the company near future? Kindly tell us, sir. Sir, about the safety, how much money we have allocated this year, coming year. This is more nowadays actually. Perhaps you have seen in the newspaper as well as news channels also. There are some fire broke. This go down, that go down, that factory. So we have to take extra cautious for this. We cannot actually destroy our assets and our manpower also. Sir, my honestly request to you, in this area, we can start new business, or if you have a business, we have to develop. That, that is the cold drinks, including soda water, biscuit, bread, and breakfast, confectionery, fruit and vegetable products, cakes, various juices. I am very much actually, my personal appeal to you. Perhaps you know this competition market, we need more advertisement because we cannot go we cannot go to each and every customers or each and every places. But more advertisement to be required in daily newspapers, news channels, as well as the national channels and international channels. Kindly, sir, do that. I am very much happy, sir. You have given me a chance to tell you all these things. Now, sir, I am coming these fast-moving consumer products, disadvantages and disadvantages. Such stiff competition in different products. Com- Consumers shift over to other companies for non-availability of our materials or costly items than our competitor organizations. We have to take care of all these things. More rural area distribution to be required. Unsold and expiry stock, and really it is much pathetic for us to strengthen the line. Retailers and distributors, they want always high margin products in the rural areas. We have to look after this. And next is, it is impossible for a brand owner to check each and every time product made by third party manufacturer. The problem will come regarding quality of our products if deteriorated by the third party manufacturers. Kindly look into this, please. Sir, merits of the FMCG in India, household products, food
Pranabda,
items. Yes, I
can
will
you?
complete once again.
Yeah.
Once again. Household products, food items, and disposable items. Buying habits of consumers will grow more and more, and demand of supply will be increased day by day. Directly, distributors work with manufacturers and made buying agreement to cover certain areas for selling that particular products and increasing our demands and sales. Thank you, sir. You have given me enough chance. God bless you. 200 years I want to see your smiling face.
Thank
And
you.
we'll meet on 30th. We'll meet on 30th.
Thank
30th
you.
with Mr. Narandan. Thank you, sir. God bless you.
Thank you. Mr. Santosh Saraf.
Chairman, sir, Mr. Saraf has not yet joined the meeting. May I request you to move on to the next speaker?
Jaideep Bakshi. Mr. Jaydeep Bakshi. Mr. Anindya Roy. Yes, Mr. Roy. We can't hear you. You please unmute yourself.
Yes, I did it. Sir, okay, can I? Yes, sir. Sir, salute to you, sir. And very good morning to you. Today, I'm also with so positive vibe that I just have to say something for the company, for the sacrifice of the company's company. It's a temple of each and unit is a temple of industries, the Tatas. So just let me say something about the sacrifice of Tata. When was GM landed in the West Coast and he made Swamiji made him, asked him to do something for the nation. That one monk turned another person who came for business into another monk. He turned himself into another monk and he set up everything. He set up is a temple of industry for the service of the nation. This is a great end. I salute his soul, sir. And I salute you all that the legacy is still to carry forward till date. So, something is that at Tata, everything is so positive that what if I'm talking about one unit, then I have to go to switch over to other units, or if I talk about one person, I have to refer to some other person because the communication and coordination is still on with the devotion. It's working with a group of companies. And sir, I will come to my point. The last year with my speech because I'm emotional. When last year I just missed. So this year I must let me speak something. Sir, the person who just did for sacrifice for the whole nation, and the nation must know, and the nation must acknowledge this sacrifice. No other industrialist or family of industrialists till date did so. Others, you don't see any Hindus, you don't see any Muslims, you don't see any Christians or Bengali person, anybody. You see what? You see pure human beings. They are devoted for one cause, for the development of this country, for the service of the country, and for the cause of the humanity. They all are only one thing, one being is a human being. That's my findings. Sir, so till now, what I have listened to, all my previous speakers, that they have nothing else but to praise the companies in the business and the companies doing business the way. You not do anything but our CSR. This company's service is a CSR. What companies is doing CSR till inception. This is one thing is very. Somebody is I should not say, but still say somebody's wife is I just went through the YouTube and I found that somebody's wife having a cell phone with 311 crores. So imagine, and this great our Ratan Tataji's phone, doesn't show up. Nobody show up. I simply say when land in your office for discussion before the AGM, during the AGM to discussion about the affairs of the company, I landed and the reception person. All of a sudden, I am so much in the positive one that all my negative approach is gone. Then when I met actually at the shareholders office, 3SS, I salute him. His smile gives you that, hey man, I'm there. What you need is just ask me. When I come out of my office, I'm with the all positive feelings in a positive sense. Yeah, man, I can do something. This only thing with Tata. I have not seen some of the companies are exception, but few. But Tata is exceptional. Tata is something brand. It is a brand for the service of the nation. It is a brand for the people of the nation. It is and beyond. Tata Ji is a bridge between India and the strongest bridge between India and abroad. And look at him, he's so simple, so down to earth person. I salute Ratan Tata, and I just ask him to please set up every part of India, another Jamshedpur. At each and every part, every like being in every place. This I don't have it. When I have a landed in Jamshedpur and I pass by the quarters, the Tata I see the lush green tree and the little house and the families. And, oh man, this is a dream. This is a dream of a place to live there. I salute the ancestors of this Tata France. And well, sir, we have created, we have this people of industries we have created, and we are now in the COVID situation. We are in the COVID situation, and that affected when it started. We started with human beings. I mean, just then they said it affected only the adults. Then it came up to this, it's affecting children, and there's many variants coming shooting up. So where did it end up? We had no idea. This whole thing is to destroy the system. Good persons, good human beings will suffer. Like Tata Group of companies. Tata Group of companies never did business for profit. Never did business for profit. If somebody says something, then he does not have any sense. Big business, each and every one has been doing business for the service of the nation and beyond.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Anindya Roy.
Yes, I'm just coming up. This is coming to the conclusion. My only, because last year I skipped it. Only my request is if we are being attacked by the viruses, why not the industry be attacked by the viruses? And there are many, I mean, researches are on. I please don't set up any more hospitals, don't set up any more centers, but set up centers of R&D sectors to study and to research this virus, to track the virus. Those who check this virus, many viruses will come as a phytovirus, and that will affect our industries. Keep in mind, sir. Keep in mind, please. And this will set up centers the research and research the viruses and check the viruses, check all the researchers of other countries. So they come as a bad to the industrial world. Now you know how much you suffer, you will be suffering. How much you know you will be suffering. So keep in mind to the industry on and the productivity and to service the nation. I request to keep, just open R&D sector to study, research, and to develop some antiviral medicines on our own. We can, if we are well in the field, we can develop something, then we can also product market that for other countries around the world. Because we have to save our industries. And what say some more? Sir, you are all devoted to this company. If within this 3 or 5 minutes, it's not possible to discuss the whole thing.
I fully understand. Hopefully we can meet. Hopefully the lockdown will be over and travel will resume. Hopefully we'll be able to meet personally. You can give suggestions.
And I wish him good health for another 100 years, perhaps if possible. And one thing, this is a message to Ratan Naval Tata, since he is not merely any architect, he is not an industrialist, he is a pure human being of every quality to run any country. And I request, if once more, this was thing, one requested, that to select him as a next PM of our country to save our nation. As the next, we would like to see him as the Prime Minister of our country because he devoted to the country. He does not have any good for the country to take, but to give, as his ancestors gave away, he has everything to give for the country. And
Thank
you
you.
all salute you. And to S.S. Roy, Shivshankar Rai, he's a great man. I wish you all good health, good life, and prosperity, and we come off this COVID situation.
Thank you.
And also I thank the WebEx people. Oh man, they connected me. I was so negative, and they connected me. I thank you all, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you.
I know
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Be
Thank you,
safe.
sir. Stay well.
Mr. Naveen Botra. Yes, Mr. Botra.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Very good morning and greetings to respected Chairman Chandra sir, our MD and CEO Mr. Sunil D'Souza, and all the other distinguished board members and management team of Tata Consumer. It's great pleasure to be attending the 58th AGM of the company. Naveen Bothra is speaking from Delhi. It's quite commendable that the company, under the able guidance of Chairman sir and the leadership of MD and CEO Mr. Sunil D'Souza, is just completing 1 year, has scaled the new heights in all the operating parameters, and company's market cap has more than doubled since the last AGM. And when we consider after your assuming the chairmanship, it's already 4 times in the last 4 years. So we applaud and appreciate the performance of the team under your able guidance. Further, we would like to appreciate the various CSR initiatives of Tata Group as well as our company for the stakeholders and society at large in the pandemic time for the last 2 years. We greatly appreciate all the efforts of the group. I have the following points for consideration of the chairman, sir. We have in the annual report we have mentioned that we want to be a formidable player in the FMCG industry. Right now we are in beverages and foods industry, food space only. So what is our strategy to become a full-fledged formidable player in the highly competitive FMCG industry? And where do we see our company in the next coming 5 to 10 years in all of the FMCG industry? And would like to see your views, seek your views regarding is there any overlap with other Tata Group consumer companies like Titan and Trent, which space we would also like to go, or we will skip those portions like Trent is in beauty and personal grooming space. Titan is also having a couple of products in consumer space. So what type of FMCG ambitions, products we would like to be presenting? As regards Tata Sampann, new products have been launched. It's scaling quite fast. And the new D2C platform of Tata Nutri Corner is also quite good platform. So we would like to know, there is some overlap with the Soulful in the Tata Sampann space. Some products are there in the Ragi, and we are also on the Tata Sampann we have launched. So how do you see all the cannibalization and all these things? Regarding the Tata Soulful, we would like to congratulate the management team for excellent acquisition, and our research for the last 5 to 6 months has shown that Soulful platform is quite excellent, and the team's response is very agile. Whatever is ordered on their platform or WhatsApp channel, it's getting fulfilled within 24 to 70 hours, be in Sindh or Haryana or in my native town Bikaner. Goods reach within 24 to 72 hours. But sometimes I have to would like to uh, say that some of our direct Tata, Nutri-Corner or other Tata, Sonet by Tata Coffee platforms does take little bit more time to reach the consumers. But Soulful is reaching quite fast, 24 hours to 72 hours throughout the India. I have seen my friends and colleagues to bring the goods. So the response, the product test and all these things are quite amazing. From children to all ages group are liking the product. So we would like to see your views, how fast our MD and CEO has also articulated about ramping it up to in 4 figures in very quick, fast time. So how we are planning to do this and all these things through domestic as well as international expansion also.
Thank you.
And just a minute, just one
Thank
minute.
you, sir. Thank you. Mr. Ashit Kumar Patak. Mr. Ashit Kumar Patak.
Hello, I am audible, sir.
Yes, you are
Am
audible.
I audible, sir?
Yes, yes.
Very good morning, very good morning. At first, my best wishes for good health, happiness, prosperity to respected chairman, MD, board of directors, company secretary, staffs, fellow members present at video conference at 58th AGM of Tata Consumers Products Limited. My name is Ashit Kumar Pathak from Damdam, Kolkata. At first, my esteemed gratitude to Company Secretary Mr. Nilabja Chakraborty and Secretarial Department for sending me notice of the 58th AGM and annual report financial year 2021 very early, well in advance, and allowed me to speak with interested member speaker also. Many thanks to Mr. Shiv Shankar Rai for his enhanced cooperation to members from Secretarial Department at Registered Office. Thanks to NSDL for early reminding for e-voting. Sir, I casted my e-voting early, contains 6 resolution, and I all assented these resolutions. Sir, I have some views, but sir, before excellent delivery from you and also our respected chairman, very good delivery for future perspective of our company. Sir, I have some views which I like to share. Thanks for our company to be a part of Nifty 50 and excellent financial performance. EBI DTA 1,569 crore, revenue, group revenue operation 11,600 crores, net cash 2,421. Sir, my question, any new products financial year 21-22 in our business pipelines? And sir, previous many speakers praised rises about Dhansaditi and Lal Ghoda, Kala Ghoda distributions models. And sir, projected GDP growth deflated from 10.5 to 9.5% and estimated inflation higher to 5.1% due to gathering price pressure. WPI during month 12.9, beverages WPI above 15% and also 15,000 crore from RBI refinance to service sectors, mostly tourism, hotels, hospitality. Expected our business operations next 3 quarters with our mostly penetrated products, tea and coffee. If throw some highlights. Sir, one request, remuneration of our company staffs may be increased to 5% because this time very inflation pressure and the staffs of our company is the pillar of our company and have to think our management teams for themselves. Sir, my company's detailed products you mentioned, sir, there is some lacunas in some distribution models because A to Z products which are value added, like example, Tata Coffee Grand is up to the most value added product, but supply is very low in our city. So overall domestic market is big consumer market, only requirement distribution and supply chain trajectories upliftment With recently Tata Group acquired Grofers e-commerce players, digital platforms with new digital softwares, machine learning, analytics, cloud, and other tools of making strategic partners in e-grocery platform. I think this will be enhance our distributions model in domestic market, also by the by overseas market. Sir, sir, also there is the RBI forecasting 2 lakh crore economic output then that will be very thinking matter. And sir, present vaccination status of all the staffs of our company and initiative taken for increase of staff's medical insurance and group insurance for the wake of second wave. And maybe third, strategies for family protections to the staff if any incident happen, like in this pandemic, as Tata Steel already taken this initiative. Global business very low than domestic business. Australia, Middle East, South Africa comparatively very low than other overseas zones. So what strategies and roadmap our company management team taken for growing international business where rupee are gradually weak against dollar? Thanks our company management teams for their enhanced contributions. I already mentioned Nifty 50. Sir, page 112, an investment mentioned 2021 financial year of Tata Starbucks Private Limited, rupees 97.50 crore. The reason behind it, because there is a most financial impact due to non-proper operations due to pandemic, mostly in second wave. So I think that you think to our management team. And page 115, conservation of energy, it would be better to give the total energy audit. Many companies are doing. Page 180, balance sheet inventories is higher than previous year. And page 201, investment in SBI Home Finance, 1 lakh shares is under liquidation and indicates no fair value. Sir, in page 216, why R&D expenditure reduced from 17.93 crore from 73.93 crores to 14.55 crores against previous year? Because research and development is mostly penetration in market share, I think so far, and it is generally happen. Page 225 mentioned credit impairment in respect to trade receivable 3492 crores. Reason behind it. And finally about cost control business, restructure organization cost rupees 61.10 crores, where previous years were nil. So think about the cost control measures. I think so far where there is very competitive market, very new players are uprising with their product portfolios. So this to be think about cost control measures. And page 204, other expense, professional and legal fees hiked from 87.86 crore to 95.15 crores, where page 178, long list of pending litigations. Nothing to say more. Expected everybody associated to Tata Consumer Products Limited with sound health and mind and perspectives every year of our company. I, as a minority member, praying to God. Thanking you, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Dibankar Purkayastha.
Good morning. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So my first question is that when I go through the segmental returns on assets, the Indian foods business has return on assets ranging from 4 to 5, 6%. The only other segment which has lower return on assets is the non-branded business, which is the plantation business, which is understandable. But having a Indian food business with such low return on assets indicates that this is a very asset-intensive segment. Is this because of the mergers with Tata Chemicals? Because historically Tata Chemicals was a tightly vertically integrated company. And what steps are you going to take to reduce the asset intensity of this segment? Because for an FMCG company, you should have returns on assets in double digits at the least. And if you can tell me what is the proportion of outsourcing in manufacturing in the Indian food segment? How much is manufactured in-house? How much is outsourced? And what are your plans to reduce the asset intensity in this segment? Second is the B2B business, the plantation business. This year you have had a very good run in this segment because of prices. The commodity prices have shot up. But this is a commodity and cyclical industry, and it's very uncomfortably sits with an FMCG company. If you look at historically, Unilever, which is your main competitor, also had a plantation business from which they have exited completely. Now, over the years, you have brought down your stake substantially in the plantation business in the tea segment. Coffee is still there. So, as one of the previous shareholders also mentioned, that it's going to become increasingly difficult, especially in South India, to get labor to run plantations. And this business takes up a lot of management bandwidth. It's compliant intensive and it imparts volatility to the balance sheet. It also drags down your net margins. And would it not make sense to completely exit this business? Because your JV partner in coffee marketing, Starbucks, is the world's largest coffee marketer, and they don't own a single coffee plantation except one or two for testing purposes. So just would like to get your thoughts on whether you would plan a strategic exit from this business. Then coming to your strategies, you have got into the fruit drinks business. So just wanted to understand why instead of developing into adjacent products like iced tea and cold coffee, iced tea is doing very well under the Lipton brand of Unilever. Cold coffee, Nestle is doing very well. So instead of choosing adjacencies, you have chosen a line of business which is extremely competitive. It is dominated by Parle and Dabur, and you have got a host of regional players. So I would just like to understand why you why you prioritize this line of business rather than adjacencies in products where you already have competitive strengths. Now you have started a new chain of Tata Cha stores in Bangalore and you plan to expand this all over the country. As you know, Starbucks is also selling various tea and drinks in their cafes. So wouldn't there be a clash between these two chains? You're going to run two chains of cafes, both selling tea under the same roof. And wouldn't this lead to ultimately a rift with your JV partner? Either you stop selling the tea drinks in the Starbucks cafe or you think of other alternative strategy. Now, the US coffee business, the MD in his presentation had said that it is one of the, I think, fourth brand in the country in the US. And you have exited the loss-making businesses in the US this year. So exiting loss-making businesses is a good step, but it is an easy step to take. What I would suggest is that you do an economic value addition analysis of your US businesses and your UK businesses. The way Mahindra and Mahindra recently did a very critical analysis of all their overseas subsidiaries, and only where you find those businesses are adding value, not simply making a marginal profit, where they are adding value and not dragging down the net margins, not dragging down the return ratios, you should consider continuing in those businesses and start exiting the other businesses. Finally, I have one small complaint. Every quarter you hold an analyst con call and you put up the transcripts of those con calls on your website. You have done that for Q1, Q2, and Q3, but you have not done it for Q4, which is the most important quarter. I had to hunt for this on the Bombay Stock Exchange website, where I finally located it. It's very unfair to small shareholders that you disclose information to institutional investors and other large shareholders, but you don't share that information with the small shareholders. And it has never happened like this in any other Tata company. So I would request you to please look into this and see that these transcripts are put up. As you know, SEBI has recently come out with draft guidelines under which they have prescribed strict timelines under which these transcripts have to be put up. So I would request you to see that those timelines are adhered to in future. Thank you for the time and good day.
Ms. Neha Agarwal.
Good afternoon, Chairman, sir, respected members of the board, and all the other team members present here. I am a proud shareholder of Tata Consumer Products Limited and also the member of Millennium Mams Mumbai. So my question is, so what kind of volume growth can we predict in Tata Sampann? That is my first question. And my second question is, the COVID has led to a huge consumer shift from the unbranded to branded foods. Being well into Q1, do you believe that there is still more market share gain left on the cards for TCPL from this change in consumer behavior has peaked out? Thank you so much, sir, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Sharat Kumar Shah.
Sir, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello. Sir, I am Mumbai ka Babu, Mumbai ka Babu. After all Bengali Babus. Sir, I refer page number 3. Page number 3, you say the Tata legacy. And there you say the revenue is $106 billion. But if you see yesterday's Economic Times, the real legacy of Tata is the Jamsetji Tata has donated in last century $102 billion, and still my revenue is just above my donation. So you have to look into that revenue should go up, sir. That it should be more than the donation, sir. Another thing, what I observed, the first page of the annual report, a transforming for better, or why it is better, it should be the best. And for doing this, what Tata has done or the Tata consumer has done, they brought Sunil D'Souza in Tata Consumer and 4th April 2020, and now he is a magician of Calcutta. What is he has done? Everything is double. Share price is double, uh, more than double. Net profit is double. If earning per share is double, dividend is double. And to help him, what he has done, he took help of Mr. P.B. Balaji and Bharat Puri. Another thing, what I got very two small suggestions, sir. Refer page number 18. 10 years financial should include share capital. Share capital is the main thing which is missing there. So please include that. And page number 156, sir, I propose that company's register office should be shifted to Kerala. That is the right place for this company because all plants are in Kerala. Nothing is in Calcutta. Another thing, sir, uh, this Sunil D'Souza has done good thing, but what has done wrong things earlier people, that they have split the share from 10 rupees share, they have please split to 1 rupee. And what happened? The earning per share is now only 9 rupees, and the price to earning P ratio is 70, which is much higher than compared to all FMCG company. So, and if you would have kept, see, when you split the share, you should see that really company makes more profit, more earning, and then only you should split. Otherwise, take 10 rupees share, would have earning per share as 90 rupees, greater than TCS. And another thing what I observed, sir, the merger of Tata Chemicals and this Tata Consumer. I have written to you earlier that in merger, see, you have got so much cross holding of shares. And my opinion, as a Tata Consumer shareholder, we have lost our benefit. So what I'm looking, whenever you do merger, I don't have any objection, but all shareholders should be benefited. Nobody should be have no benefit. And another thing, it looks like that you have got lot of subsidiaries. So it looks like that you should try to see that how you can reduce them. Another thing, my observation is last 15 months shares are going up, including Tata companies, including Tata Consumer. And if I look into the promoter holding, it is 29.36%. And I personally feel that this is the right time for Tatas to purchase the share. Otherwise, in long term, they will find very difficult period because their holding is lower. And another thing, sir, if I refer page number 153 in 2016, share price of Tata Consumer was 122, lesser than the Tata Coffee, which is a subsidiary of the company. And today, it is now increased to 638 and the growth is 423%. So look into this. And another thing, my observation is that page number 115, conservation of energy, the points and the things what we have done, it looks like a child's play. It should be of the quality of Tata. I did not miss very small things. Any child can do it. That is what we have done for conservation of energy. A concrete thing which I have not observed in under conservation of energy. And another thing, what I seen page number 199. You talked about goodwill, and I have not understood what is the difference between goodwill and brand value. Can you explain that? And what is another thing, my observation is, I have written to Tata Consumer also earlier, some 20 days back, say if a company is using Tata logo, then the things what companies are doing should be absolutely identical, which is not happening. See, at least for a speaker, if you cannot do everything identical in all companies, at least do one thing for identical for speaker, at least in covering letter, how to register speaker's name. That at least you make it as identical. Uh, and whether I could not find out this Tata Consumer, how much royalty they are giving to Tata Sons. If you can tell me that, I will be very happy. And most of the points I covered, sir. So
Thank you.
I don't want to take any more time. Thank you, sir. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
giving me opportunity.
Mr. Yusuf Rangwala. Mr. Yusuf Rangwala. Mr. Rangwala. Lekha Shah. Lekha Shah. Lekha Shah. Mr. Modi.
Chairman, sir, Mr. Modi has not yet joined the meeting. May I request you to move on to the
Mr.
next speaker?
Kriti Shah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
अरे गुड मॉर्निंग आफ्टरनून हो गया अभी सर. चेयरमैन सर, मैंने ईमेल किया आपको, आपने उसमें रिप्लाई काफी दिया हुआ है. तो अभी आप जो बाकी चेयरमैन सर, अभी आप नया प्रोडक्ट कौन
Hello, Mr. Kriti Shah.
वो थोड़ा आप हाईलाइट करेंगे.
We can't hear you.
हाँ जी, सुनाई दे रहा है सर.
Yeah, please start again. We couldn't hear you. Hello? Hello? Okay, can we go to the next person? Sunita Bulchandani? Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you are in mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good morning, sir. I'm Sunita Bulchandani. I'm a proud owner of Tata Consumer Products Limited, shareholder, and also a member of Millennium MAM's Bangalore chapter. So 51% of the company revenue has come from tea, 21% from food, 17% from beverages, and 11% from coffee. Do you expect this mix to change post-pandemic, sir? Thank you.
Mr. Ashish Shankar Bansal. Yes, Mr. Bansal. Mr. Bansal.
You can hear my voice, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Respected Chairman and Board of Directors, thanks for increased dividend from previous years. Just I want to know, last 2 years we are not printing the balance sheet and courier charge will want to see all land. This amount we are saving or we are using for other purpose. Other shareholder also is, and so I don't repeat the same question. Thank you so much.
Mr. Viraj Kacharia.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. I just have two questions. One is, when we decided to merge Tata Chemicals food business with Tata Global, the whole communication was that, this will be the sole entity for FMCG play in India for Tata Group. But we have Tata Q and we have other smaller businesses as well in the food part, which goes through other Tata Group entities. So what is the broader thought process there, and any more detailed perspective we can share in terms of what will come through the Tata consumer products and whatnot. Second thing is, we have seeded and piloted Tata Cha, and at the same time we also have a venture through Starbucks. So can you just elaborate in detail what is the aspiration for Tata Cha? Do we have any, in terms of, what the scale of investment would be required, and, what is the ambition with respect to that particular venture? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Biswendra Kundu. Mr. Biswendra Kundu. Mr. Kundu. Mr. Ravi Kumar Naredi. Mr. Naredi.
Yes, respected Chairman, Honorable Board of Directors, Sir, how you utilize cash to enhance our ROC for the company, is we are having 3,000 crore cash. So how you utilize the for business purpose? Second, how you go Starbucks growth plan, if you may share with us. Third, any plan to merge any company of Tata Group with this company, as you did salt business from Tata Chemical and it was very beneficial for both the company. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Gautam Tiwari.
संगीता दीदी आप देख ले वापस चल छोड़ दे ना वो उनसे पूछ लेंगे एक मेरे फ्रेंड हैं AGM
Mr. Gautam Tiwari. Mr. Gautam Tiwari. Okay, we go to the next person, Mr. Ritesh Tiwari.
Chairman, sir, Mr. Tiwari has not yet joined the meeting.
Thank you.
May I request you to move on to the next speaker?
Mr. Mascarenas. Mr. Mascarenhas? We can't hear you. You are in mute, I think.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Respected Chairman, sir, very distinguished members of the board and my fellow shareholders. Good afternoon to you all. My name is Aloysius Mascarenhas. I'm a proud shareholder of Tata Consumer, as well as I'm a shareholder of all Tata Group companies. I'm a proud shareholder. So I am happy to receive the e-balance sheet, which is self-explanatory, exhaustive, transparent, and adhering to all the parameters required for a good corporate governance. Our results are very good compared to the economic scenario, the pandemic that is we are suffering, and the world at large. In spite of that, our PBT, PAT has gone up, our EP has gone up, our profits have gone up, and you have declared a handsome dividend of rupees 4.05. Very good, sir. Keep it up. It is really remarkable. We are going very good in all our products. We have 39 stores and we are doing very well, extremely well. And under the leadership of you and Mr. Sunil D'Souza, who has come from well-known company like Whirlpool, and he has got a good backing. Wherever he goes, he has a golden touch, a magic touch. Where the Whirlpool he has turned around now. Our Tata Consumers also is doing very well under his management. So very good, sir. You got a good person to take care. And sir, we are very good in food and beverages and Starbucks and other brands. We are very good. Now here the brand 3-in-1, most of the companies abroad, they have 3-in-1 sachet. You dip it in hot water and you get a very good ready-made tea. Why don't we have that 3-in-1 brand? I would like to know. Sir, I congratulate you for all the awards and accolades received during the year. Now, I have one personal question, which I'm holding over 1,000 shares of Tata Tea, which is converted as Tata Consumers. Now, I had purchased it long ago in physical share certificate. Now, my name is Aloysius Mascarenhas and typographical, my name AELOY. Instead of AELOYSIUS, instead of O, they put U. And I was getting dividend. But now my dividends are going back and I have to notarize, make a affidavit, and only for a typographical error, which I have told. So, sir, we are finding not only our company, Tata Tea, but most of the Tata companies are having immense problem. All the Tata companies, because of small errors here and there, I am penalized. So I would request, sir, since I am holding lot of Tata shares in physical form, at least we can, for senior citizen like myself, if buyback is made by the company, so it will avoid all this going to all these legal formalities, SEBI regulations and all. Company can buy back shares at a very attractive rate, and there all these problems will be taken care by the company. So this is my personal request to you, sir. And many questions have been asked by my fellow shareholders. I don't want to ask any more questions. I'm
Thank
happy
you.
with our company and the management. Very good, sir. And especially you, you are very good, sir. Your leadership is very good. So we have complete faith with you, sir. And with this, sir, I end my speech wishing you personally and all the board of directors and employees all the very best. Now my
Thank you.
wife, who is the next speaker, will take my chair and she will go forward, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
Can I come?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I come?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I speak?
Yes, yes,
Can I
yes.
speak? Because I won't have to again put the computer. So that's why means unlock. Thank you, sir, very much for giving me this permission to speak. Respected Chairman, Mr. Chandrasekhar, MD, CFO, Mr. Sunil D'Souza, other very honorable directors. My name is Mrs. C. Mascarenas. I thank the company secretary and his team for helping for sending this e-notice and plus helping in the entry of this AGM. So working, no anything to say, especially when Mr. Sunil is heading. His name is a big brand, like Puri. Mr. Sunil means any company means there is nothing. And when Chandrasekhar heading and demerging, you have created a very big value to the shareholders from Tata Chemicals and Tata Tea. So foods from chemicals and the beverages from Tata Tea. So it has become a real giant. I won't be surprised. We will be the darlings of the stock market, even getting more than 1,000 next year. So, but what I feel, my question here, query, promoter holding is about 35%. I feel this should increase, sir, because it is such a beautiful company, and I want my promoters to have bigger than this. At least 5% you can take it, because it is a growing company, And then another second query is we have Starbucks joints at many places around 39. So any more? My year we are doing lot of acquisitions. Even last year you have done in this current year you have done some acquisitions in the foods and all that. What about taking coffee cafe day? Because they have lot of joints and the funds are the biggest problem. So we will get all that, and of course we may have to shell out, like we are thinking of Air India. So this I feel this is a consumer, once the lockdown and all finishes and we come into the normal, this coffee cafe day, I feel I don't know what about. So what you then number three, which is important, which is as per what is happening these days, pandemic, I don't know whether we have any immunity drinks. Immunity like ashwagandha. Even now I'm taking ashwagandha dip tea from Care online. I am ordering. My daughter actually orders online. I'm not that good in online, so she orders for me. And this ashwagandha with other stuff like pepper and all that, tulsi and all. So do we have something like this? Could you just enlighten me on this? And on also immunity drinks like Dhabar has, like Giloids or Patanjali, Tulsis and all, something like that, because we are in the beverages and what we need is the now health beverages, means immunity beverages. Last, I wish our company all the best. Sir, I am really grateful to you. You have really created a lot of valuation by demerger. No other person would have that much, the insight to go and combine all the food things, beverages thing in one company and make the other company into specialty chemicals and all. This is very good. My hats off to you. I thank you, Mr. Chandrasekhar, specially, and I thank the whole team, Tata Consumer team, for giving me these opportunities to speak. Thank you once again, and take care. Good health.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Prakashini Shanai, I'm sorry I missed your name before.
Chairman, sir. Mr. Shenoy has not yet joined the meeting.
Okay.
May I request you to move on
Ms.
to the next
Vasudha Vikas Dakwe.
Hello, can you hear me, sir? Very good morning. Hello, can
Ma'am,
you
your
hear me,
voice
sir?
is low. Can you talk a little louder?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Very good afternoon, respected Chairman, sir, Board of Directors, and my fellow shareholders. Myself, Vasudha from Thane. I would also like to congratulate our company secretary for sending me the soft copy of the report well in advance. I would like to ask what is our 2 years capex plan. Most of the question was asked by my earlier shareholder, so I don't want to repeat it again. With this, I support all the resolution. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Abhirup Nandi. Yes, Mr. Nandi.
Yeah, good afternoon. Am I audible and visible, sir? So, am I audible and visible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Respected Chairman, MD, sir, other directors, and other key managerial persons. I'm Abhirup Nandi from Kolkata. Sir, in spite of COVID, the company has done so really well. Wonderful vision and mission has been set by the company. Overall financial performance has been spectacular. Growth plus strength has been very good, sir, in all the segments. Really appreciate all the efforts TCPL is making for the shareholders as well as for the society, striking the correct balance between them, between the profitability and the societal factors. So you have presented the annual report really well. It is self-explanatory with all the compliances in place. Proud to be a part of proud that our company is now a part of the Nifty 50. It's all the company's efforts and all the shareholders' efforts together. Mr. Nilajbhat Chakraborty was looking great today. Under his guidance, all the major compliances have been has been correctly complied with, and as per the regulatory authorities. And from Kolkata office, Mr. Sivshankar Ray has been maintaining very cordial relation with the shareholders. Thank you for such representations. So thank you for conducting such a transparent AGM in such transparent manner like every year. I feel this company has more of value unlocking left, and I wish everyone to keep invested for a great growth structure ahead, sir. Thank you. This is Abhirup Nandi signing off. I hope everyone stay safe.
Thank you. Mr. Anil Parekh.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Chairman sir, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello sir, how are you sir?
I'm good, thank you.
Sir, it's great to see you again after a gap of 1 year, and I'm truly delighted to see you again and all the board of directors. Sir, I am always a believer that Tatas are always great companies to invest because they never let us down as far as shareholders appreciation, shareholders value unlocked, dividend and whatnot. Sir, many speakers said a lot of things, so I don't want to take your much time, but only a question left in my mind is, sir, you have said that we have a list of products and ours is a brand name. And sir, but I don't see where I stay nearby any store, our products are available, Tata's consumer products, except a few handful of DMart and Reliance and like that. But sir, you take keen interest and penetrate small kirana stores that it should be available there, so that we can enjoy our products use. Secondly, sir, my question is, do you have any plan to establish exclusive Tata consumer stores in western part or entire Bombay? And if so, what are your plans? Please let me know. And kindly see to it. I'm staying in Kandivali, Mumbai. I don't see anywhere our products are available in my nearby vicinity. So, sir, it is my humble request that accept this DMart and all these stores, kindly see small kiranas are also should have your products. Thank you for patient hearing, and I'm very much thankful to Nilabja for extending very good cooperation pre-AGM, post-AGM, and for attending the meeting. Nilabja, thank you very much, and Chandrasekhar sir, thank you very much for patient hearing.
Thank you. Mr. Amit Kumar Banerjee.
Hello. May I audible, sir? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good noon to everyone. My name is Amit Kumar Banerjee from the city of Calcutta. I'm really very proud shareholder of such a wonderful company, Tata Consumer Products Limited. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak such a wonderful meeting to be organized by our company. It's our 58th annual meeting of the company. Yes, more than 2 hours have already been crossed. Much speakers have made their views, their queries. Still, being a shareholder, I have a feeling to say a little bit that in such a beautiful meeting today, as regards the performance is concerned, as visible in the balance sheet under review, is quite good. Nice result, good growth, net profit is very good. It's very nice. The dividend for the shareholders, the minority, about 4.05 at the rate of rupees 1 for the minority shareholders. Current market price of the shares is also about 740 rupees. So I have a full faith on this management and support all resolutions pledged right now. Passing already casted my devoting also my family accounts. I give a special thanks to our company secretary, Mr. Nilabja Chakraborty, and secretarial team also at Kolkata, Mr. Sip Sankar Rai, for maintaining a very good cordial relationship. I believe under the able guidance of our respected Mr. Ratan Tata, as well as the leadership of this entire team management, our company will definitely maintain development and prosperity of our company, giving a strategic move, upgrade, whatever the relevant technology is required, necessary infrastructure, definitely keeping in mind also to the minority shareholders rewarding policy. Thanking you, Mr. Chairman. I also thank to all members and also organized such members for smooth video conferencing today. My name is Amit Kumar Banerjee. I'm handing over to you, sir, Mr. Chairman, for further proceedings. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. With that, we have come to the end of all the speakers. Now, I'd like to quickly respond. Ms. Paridhi Agarwal, you asked about Tata Coffee and the packaging and marketing. The packaging is done by Tata Coffee, and the brand management and distribution is done by Tata Consumer Products. 8 o'clock is it's grown extremely well last year, almost 90%, and it's the fourth largest selling brand in the US. We are launching it through D2C model in India. And the tea prices last year, due to the pandemic, there was a lot of issues. So there was a crop shortage also, and the prices significantly went up. We took some price increase. We hope that with the situation getting better, we don't see that kind of an increase, and it should normalize. That's our assessment at this point. But in case if there is a increase, then we will take a look at it. Then Ms. Aarti Tekriwal, you asked when will it become the number one, and will there be a Deshka coffee? I think in all our portfolio, we are really pushing a very strong distribution and a strong market share gain. Already you're seeing a market share gain in tea, and coffee is a long way to go, and we have a big opportunity, and we will definitely look at significant growth in this segment. Mr. Arun Kumar Dr. Arun Kumar, you asked lots of questions and you made a lot of suggestions. We'll take all your suggestions in terms of the strategy for the growing consumers. Our product portfolio will be evolving and more innovation will come, more acquisitions will come. All of this will be to address the emerging consumer, the large consumer base in India. And in terms of chai points, a lot of questions were raised by many investors, many shareholders on Tata Cha. Tata Cha was done as an experiment, and currently there is no definitive plan to scale this up. We believe that that's more a retail, quick service retail format, and the focus of the TCPL company will be to come out with more products and push it through a very strong distribution network, both offline and e-commerce, its own e-commerce platform, and it leverage our Tata Super App also. And we're thinking through many of those kinds of opportunities, and there is no definitive plan to expand Tata Cha as a network. Ms. Pinto already answered your question regarding India Business Foods. Very strong e-commerce plans in addition to physical distribution. We're strengthening the distribution across the board. We'll reach more outlets and also through e-commerce. We will get into more healthy foods. We have lots of plans in additional healthy foods, including proteins. In terms of long-term profitability plan, all I would say is that the company is extremely focused on growth, trying to push the profit margin to be at the top tier, and a lot of focus on cash flows and also return on balance sheet metrics, ROCE, and return on assets. Mr. Manoj Kumar Gupta, you gave a number of suggestions, including the salt packets and tie-up with IRCTC, ready-to-eat foods, many ideas, and many of these are under consideration. We'll look at it, and whatever makes sense, we will do. Immunity booster products, someone also made that comment. We already have a few products like the Tulsi tea, like the Haldi Doodh, and Tetli immunity product. So there are quite a few products are there, but we need to make them available, make them visible, more advertisement, all of this will happen. Tamal Majumdar, you had lots of comments. On Starbucks, I would say that it's not a correct year to look at the Starbucks numbers, because Starbucks, due to the pandemic, had lots of issues last year and also lots of issues this year. We believe that before the pandemic, it had already turned profitable. So we definitely look at Starbucks as a big opportunity. We'll go for major expansion in the coming years. And we will invest in that business. And both for tea and coffee and water, there is lots of upside, definitely coffee and water. And we will continue to go for significant market share increase. And on the water business, you asked about the accumulated loss and when will it be wiped out. I think it's all about growth, because we have a very big opportunity, and with the right growth, and all this will get wiped out. And we are definitely investing in e-commerce or digital commerce and conversational commerce. Lots of investment happening in the group, and definitely TCPL will leverage all of that. And Tata Coffee, including Vietnam, will do well. We have a big hope that all those products will scale up, and we will continue to push them through the distribution. And in terms of Soul Foods, I think it's been a very good acquisition, and we will definitely expand that through our channels. and you should expect more such acquisitions. You had lots of clarifications that you had asked regarding the financial statements. I suggest that the CFO will get in touch with you to answer all your questions. Pranabda, you had made lots of comments. We have taken note of many of your suggestions. On two or three important ones I want to respond. You talked about the safety of our workforce. We will invest whatever is necessary to provide the safety and health of our entire ecosystem. And advertisement, you're right. We will be significantly investing more in the in making our products visible, and also on immunity products already answered. Mr. Anindya Rai, I fully accept your comment regarding the need for investing in R&D, whether it is for supporting coronavirus or other related areas of areas to find solutions, or in other areas. We take that comment. Mr. Naveen Botra asked about what other categories. I think our focus currently is to expand both the distribution and the adjacent categories in beverages and foods. There is a lot of scope, but there are definitely plans in other categories in the FMCG segment in the years to come. Soulful Sampan, I don't see it as an overlap because it's all 100% owned by the company, so we will I don't see any overlap. There is no overlap with the group companies. Other companies which are in other segments like beauty, etc., they are all retail companies. So, from a manufacturing and distribution point of view, in the FMCG segment, I think Tata Consumer will continue to play the lead role. Mr. Ashit Patak, thank you for all your comments. You asked about FY22. What are the new product launches? I think the company has a strong product pipeline, and they will continue to launch those products, and you will get to know as they do that. And your comment about the weakness in distribution is taken note of. We have significantly focused on strengthening the distribution, both traditional distribution as well as e-commerce. This is an area you will see continuous strengthening that will happen, which will only help the company. And we, for the entire group, we are focused on vaccinating all our employees, their family members. It is happening across the group. You made some comment about the SBI home loans. I couldn't get your question. Maybe the CFO will answer that question to you once you clarify. Mr. Purkayastha, you made lots of comments. I take note of many of those comments. On your comment on return on assets, it's primarily due to the huge goodwill when the merger happened for the food business with TCPL, but all of this will get addressed with growth, and we will get to double-digit ROA. Plantation, currently there is no plan to sell the plantation. We are trying to improve the operations of the plantation business. Neha Agarwal, I think there is a big opportunity of volume growth in Tata Sampann. I don't want to be giving a particular number. I think we see significant opportunity for volume growth, market share, as well as market share gain. Sharad Kumar Shah, thank you for many of your comments. Your appreciation on the legacy of the group and Jamsetji's contribution all taken note of. Thank you very much. And you have raised a number of comments on different pages, but some of them I have taken note of, but there is no plan to shift the company's registered office. Ms. Sunita Bulchandani, yes, the mix of products will definitely continue to change, because some of the products that we have today are very small in terms of market share. There is a huge opportunity, because we have an opportunity to grow the market share in the current market itself, but the market itself is growing. Mr. Bansal, thank you for your comments. Mr. Kacharia, you asked whether there will be other businesses that will be merged. If there are any relevant businesses for the FMCG business, we will definitely look at it. And there are no definitive plans to expand the Tata Cha network. Mr. Kundu, thank you for your comments. Ravi Kumar Naredi, the cash will be used primarily for growth or acquisitions, as we see tremendous opportunities. The company, as I said, is completely focused on improving the ROCE, ROA and other matrices. Thank you, Mr. Gautam Tiwari. Mr. Mascarenes, your comment on 3-in-1 sachet is, we take note of that. And regarding your issues with your name in the certificates, you can reach to Mr. Nilabja, and he will also talk to the Group Company Secretary Mukhopadhyaya, and whatever issues are there, we can help you sort out. But there is no plan to do the buyback is not the solution for that. Ms. Vasudha Dakwe, you asked about the capex plan. The company roughly, I mean, don't take it as a definitive number, but roughly the plan is around 350 to 400 crores a year. Mr. Nandi, thank you for your nice remarks. Mr. Anil Parekh, I fully agree that the distribution has to improve and the product must be easily available in every kirana and every small shop. That is the goal, and we are working on that, and definitely we will address that. Mr. Amit Kumar Banerjee, thank you for your appreciation. With those, I have answered the comments from various shareholders. I want to thank you all for participating and sharing your thoughts with us. Now I would like to authorize the Company Secretary, Mr. Nilabja Chakravarti, to conduct the voting procedure and conclude the meeting. The e-voting facility will be open for the next 15 minutes. The results would be announced within 2 working days, and the same would be intimated to the stock exchange and uploaded on the website of the company and that of NSDL. I once again want to thank all the shareholders for participating in today's meeting and your support. Also to the directors for joining this meeting. With your consent, I, the management and the board members would like to leave the meeting, and I would wish you all a good health, and please stay safe. Thank you very much.
The e-voting has been kept open for 15 minutes as mentioned by the chairman. We now close the e-voting. I would like to say that the requisite quorum was present throughout the meeting. The results of the annual general meeting will be announced by the company within the next 2 working days. With this, I declare the meeting as concluded. Thank you for attending this annual general meeting.